So to expand on that, I wanted to sort of do a quick an anatomy lesson of an email marketing campaign. This is a sort of blown up version of the top half. So the pre-header is what we talked about. If you've read some of Christopher Penn's marketing tips and his blog posts, he talks a lot about placing the unsubscribe link right in the top. That's something you can include in the pre-header. But for mobile purposes, I would say that the pre-header, like I've discussed, is really an area where you want to draw them in. The header, when you're deciding that mobile is important, a lot of email marketing campaigns will come out with these huge headers with big images or branding elements or logos, and that's fine. But you have to think about space. And if someone's opening your email on a very small screen and all they see is the header, there's nothing there that's going to entice them to take further action. So keep it small, keep it keep it manageable. Headline, you want to make this catchy, just like you did with your subject line in the inbox. The whole purpose here is to get them to keep reading. The copy should be quick and to the point, should be scannable, and then the call to action, like I was saying before. Really make a button that just stands out, that just wants to be clicked. Now, and then of course sharing icons for if they want to post to Facebook, to Twitter, LinkedIn, that sort of thing. I've also included here to the right the other callouts, navigations, features, news. This could maybe include ads if you have ads in your email newsletter. The reason I put this all the way over to the right is because most emails will load left justified in a mobile device. So these are things that aren't necessarily as important. So it's good to think about where they are going to be placed in the actual email. And in the example I showed beforehand, we actually have content over to the right, but it wasn't as important content. And the content that I was really worried about was the content that was going to load in the left side where you see we have headline, copy, call to action, and that sort of thing. Oh, one more thing. I'm sorry. The note at the bottom, this is important. A minimum of 45 pixels by 45 pixels is the average finger tap on an iPhone. So when you're spacing things out, that's a good benchmark to go by. Now you can go to the next slide. So this is a lot of information, and like Amy said, we're going to be sharing this information after this, so you'll be able to access this. But real quickly, I wanted to go through some of these best practices just to reinforce this. You want, as I said, place the most important content on the left. Maintain visual consistency with your existing website. Mainly because if they click through and they go to your website, you want to have a feeling of continuity there. Reduce the amount of text, and that really applies no matter what. Everyone is just inundated with information on a regular basis, so you want to get to the point. Don't get in your own way. Use legible fonts on every screen. Don't rely on the resolution. This is going to go back to testing. You're going to really need to test and use strong design styles. Use background colors to separate sections instead of other elements. Background colors are nice and clean. Easier to manage design-wise. Try your color palette in different lighting environments, and this is something a lot of people don't think about. If you are, if you're in a well-lit room, if you're outside in the sunlight, do some testing. Take a mobile device and check your emails outside, see what they look like. Keep the main navigation to 3 or 4 links if you have navigation in your emails. Think about fluid or liquid designs for best adaptation, but keep in mind a minimum width of 320 pixels, at least for the area of the content that's most important. Use lists rather than tables, and reduce load time by using CSS3 instead of images for gradients, rounded corners, shadows, etc. This is also a norm for the web. So if you're having a web developer or designer put together your email newsletter, they should be already using this technology. So the tweet away for this is when designing emails for mobile, user experience is most important. One other thing to mention here is, for example, Blue Sky Factory has a mobile version that they can offer. So you can't really read it, but you have to kind of take my word for it. And that little red square up in the example there of the HTML, the actual graphical email, that says mobile version. So basically, what you can do is you can click on that, and it will bring up a text-only version of the email. And this is good for if there's a device that just won't load graphics or it won't display the graphics properly. This is a nice fail-safe way to make sure that your content can still get through to these mobile users. So, screen size and other headaches. Mobile is, just when we thought we had a handle on browsers and everything with the web, here comes the mobile, and everything changes, and it changes daily, and it really makes it difficult for you to stay on top of all the changes. So the best way to handle this is just to make sure that you're accounting for the lowest common denominator. Mobile is a vast array of shapes and sizes, as you can see here in this chart. So as I said before, designed for a minimum of 320 pixels wide. Or if you really need to include more than 320 pixels wide worth of information, then maybe think about placing just the most important information within a 340 pixel wide area that is justified. Another tweet away for you. Email displays differently on different mobile screens, so account for your target devices. So again, this is a lot of information here, but these are important, and I would encourage you to view this when we post it again to go through some of these things. 4 ways to ensure cross-device compatibility. Use a tool to test both these tools. I found in this blog, but I've seen them in other places, and they're both really good. They do cost money, but if you're interested in making sure that your HTML emails are going to appear correctly in different devices, these things will actually give you simulators and emulators where you can actually see what your email will look like in different devices like Android, BlackBerry, iOS, Palm, or I'm sorry, WebOS. You want to design for the lowest common denominator. I would, even if you're designing for 320 pixels wide, I would, for the content, I would still keep the entire email to 480 pixels wide, because if they do decide to venture east, they're going to be if they're thumbing all over the place, they're going to get frustrated. Design for legibility at 50% of the original. This is mainly for feature phones, but you never know what phones' default settings are going to be. So just plan on these things being appearing smaller than what you see when it is full size on your screen in front of you. So just be designed for that. Keep that in mind. Use meta tags and CSS to allow for proper rendering in devices. Like I said before, CSS3 for setting up styles. This is just really a baseline nowadays. If you're not using CSS3, you really should look into that. It's going to solve a lot of your problems across the board, and that's a whole other webinar to get into. But it's definitely important to look into. You can also use meta tags to alert the device to render certain ways. Here's an example for an iPhone where it actually will tell the iPhone what the width is and how to render your email properly. And design with a grid format using color and areas of content that can adjust variably. And what that means is that you don't have fixed width tables, for example, where you have things laid out in table formats that those tables are going to be 100 pixels wide no matter what. These are areas of content that can adjust based on how the image or how the